I think obesity in general is a challenge for our country. It's not just in childhood. Childhood is where you have to be most concerned about obesity because children who are overweight in childhood have a predisposition toward obesity in adulthood.
No, I don't think that parents are either teaching or training their kids good solid ways to eat. I have very rarely seen a mom or dad intervene in what their kids eat based on how healthy it is for them. If they intervene, it's more price-oriented or mess-oriented, but it rarely has to do with how healthy it is.
Our population is increasingly overweight, and you can see that in restaurants and quantities that are served and in fast foods. And we're finding that it's an increasingly difficult health issue because people are so drawn to the kinds of foods and things that tend to make us gain weight. And because of all the screens that are available to us, whether it's video, computer, TV, we tend to be more sedentary.
I don't really think that childhood obesity is going to be addressed as a problem until the #1 enforcer of eating, parents, have an idea of what they can do. And it has to be easier for them as well. I mean, we were all kids. I like green beans, but most kids would tell you, when I was a kid, I didn't like green beans and I wouldn't eat them. Well, not only do you not get away from the dinner table now, there's no dinner table because you're coming to one of a million restaurants. There are no green beans. And, if you'll hurry up and eat your chicken starters, you can go play in the playground for a few minutes. And that's really, that's the extent of and then after you're finished playing the playground, you can go back and play PlayStation or whatever thing that you happen to play that doesn't require any kind of exercise.
A child to be obese has to be 95% above their expected body weight. And, children with obesity tend to have a great number of physiological problems. If they don't have them now, they're really at high risk for having them later. Everything from high blood pressure, cardiac issues, and of course diabetes.
The larger issue of childhood obesity, and the American Obesity Association says that about 30% of children ages 6 to 11 are overweight. About 15% of children ages 6 to 11 are considered obese.
We do see that there really isn't as much free time or free play for kids. They're not going outside as much for whatever reason. Maybe it's an issue with safe neighborhoods or parents not feeling comfortable sending their child outside. But I do think it's also important to know that there are a lot of other opportunities at school for kids to eat. There's vending machines, there's other things they can buy in the cafeteria in addition to the school meal, and those are far more problematic than the school lunches. Because the vending machines are packed with sugar-sweetened beverages like sodas, salty snacks, high-fat types of things, and the Department of Agriculture, who oversees the school lunch program, has very little authority on all of those other foods. We call those competitive foods because they actually compete with the school lunch program. But in general, the recommendations to increase whole grains and leafy greens and those types of things really are based on pretty good science, because what we do see with people who consume more whole grains, more fruits and vegetables, they tend to have lower risk for diabetes, lower risk for cardiovascular disease, lower risk for even some types of cancer.
Growing up, I've had some friends who have had issues with obesity, and I know how tough it was for them and how easy it was to make bad food choices. So I thought if I did my film on this subject of obesity, it would not only educate viewers, but it would educate me and my friends as well. What about your food choices? What kind of food choices do you make?
I like making healthy food choices, but occasionally it's good to eat just like some junk food. Like for instance, this burrito right here, because it provides your body with some of the more, not really necessary fats, but it also can help replenish your body and stuff like that.
I like eating healthy things like salads because you can add things in there like cheese and tomatoes and croutons and spinach.
It's extremely difficult to approach a child on an issue like obesity. And of course it depends upon their age. Where it's most difficult is in early adolescence and adolescence, because children tend to be more sensitive and defensive about what you have to say to them. But you still don't want to say anything to them other than, we want to work toward health. Let's get involved together in being more active. It's critical that you set an example, that you be active, that you eat things that are good as a parent. And you have to make a team effort out of it if you really want to be successful, really, with kids, and have them buy into it.